The tree fruit industry in the Yakima Valley is one of the most concentrated, large operations of farming in the world. The Tree Fruit Research Commission is an organization that farmers formed in 1968. We've made farming more efficient, more economical for the farmer, and we've made it more productive for the marketplace. The founders of the Research Commission gave us an organization that interacted and reacted very, very quickly to the needs of the farmer. Using farmers' orchards and local research facilities, we get research that applies to us here on the ground in our state. I think it's important for us to tell this story so people know where their dollars are going and where the solutions are coming from.
When this research first started, there were almost 2,000 acres of apples that were being grown organically. Cullage rates were really high coming out of the orchards. The problem was that we continually have to have new alternatives for control of codling moth because it's the key pest in the system. Mating disruption had been shown to work in a number of other crops, and it was clear that we needed to have this particular tool in apple orchards as a way to make sure that we had long-term control of codling moth. 90+% of all the orchards of apples and pears are treated with codling moth mating disruption. If the Commission had not started funding this work in the early 1990s, very likely the rate of adoption would have been much, much slower because the companies themselves that were producing these products couldn't have afforded to invest in the R&D that they did. We think that the benefit in terms of eliminating sprays is about $12 million a year at a minimum. Also, because you probably would not be able to produce organic apples and pears without mating disruption, that benefit in a single year alone could be as much as $215 million to the fruit industry in the Northwest.
My job has always been to study fruit ripening so that we could try to have a better outcome in stored fruit. In the course of doing that, 1-methylcyclopropene, or 1-MCP, became available to try to achieve this result. 1-MCP is an inhibitor of ethylene action, and so in apples it makes them get ripe considerably slower than they would otherwise. Not only can we make fruit not get ripe as fast, we could also prevent some disorders that have been an industry challenge for decades. This has been incredibly successful. It's almost universally used within the apple business, not only in the Northwest, but worldwide. Thanks to the growers, we were able to do this work. And so it's really gratifying to me that it's paid off for the people who made that investment and trusted us. The best days of my life and my career have been because of 1-MCP. Walking into the lab and looking at apples that resemble, a fresh picked apple in April that we know was picked last summer. And to a scientist, it doesn't get much better than that.
If you look at an apple tree and you see all the flowers on it, if every one of those sets of fruit, you're going to have 105,000 little apples. What you want are fewer apples that are larger, better tasting, and store better. That's what chemical bloom thinning does. At bloom time, it selectively removes individual flowers, leaving enough on the tree so that you have a full crop, but it's a full quality crop. When I think about what made our research in adjusting crop load as successful as it is, we started right off in the orchards. When I left the commission, over 120 grower cooperators. Our trials were done in their orchards with their equipment, with them looking over our shoulder. Now that causes problems sometimes because they're out there trying to make money on an orchard block. They didn't like it when our experiments failed. But because we did that iteratively, we kept working with the same cooperators throughout the state. It doesn't work just for bloom thinning, it works for other research areas that the Research Commission is focused on. So I think that kind of approach in the field with our stakeholders, doing specific applied research that they can see makes a difference for them is really the key to the Commission's success. It's an amazing story.
One of the bigger ones. When I was a kid, we really didn't have much to eat. But I was really lucky because I had a grandma that had this ability to grow just about anything. My grandma taught me an understanding of plants. And then she gave me a gift. She gave me the gift of love of farming.
I grew up in this business. There's never an end to what we do. We're always going to face challenges. I'm Tia Smith. I'm with Circle Fruit Company. I'm an entomologist and ag consultant and a commissioner for the Washington Tree Fruit Research Commission.
There's some very nice. One of our highest priorities going forward is implementing technology in orchards. For this, we really need young people. So we need to share what we know, we need to mentor them, but we also need to trust that they can carry us into the future.
So this is very heavy. Let me tell you why it's critical that we have more young people involved. All they know is technology. They were born to do this, they're born to move fast, and they're born to be innovative and move us into the future because they know this technology.
I really do think about my grandma every day. I think she would be very pleased to see that her knowledge and her love of plants gets used in a way that helps to feed the world a healthy product, and she would be really proud of that.
When I'm asked to predict the future, it's easy because it's already being done. It's underway. And that's due to grower investments in the research programs that we have in place right now.